Good day everyone and welcome to Group 4 presentation on parenting style issues. My group consists of myself, Karishma Bechan, Kayla Alexis, Lexus Mohammed, Kaylee Brown, and Aliyah Aberdeen. So today we'll be exploring how parenting styles differ across cultures with a special focus on the United States and Trinidad and Tobago. Parenting isn't a one-size-fits-all as it reflects a family's values, traditions, and beliefs. Each family ideals, culture, and history is reflected in their parenting style, which is not universal. And there are 4 parenting styles, which are authoritative, authoritarian, permissive, and neglectful, which were initially identified by developmental psychologist Diana Baumrind in the 1960s and have been linked to children's emotional, social, and academic development. However, the manner that the families choose to adopt is greatly influenced by their culture. And according to research, individualistic cultures, such as the United States, favor autonomy and self-expression, which are frequently consistent with permissive or authoritarian methods. In contrast, authoritarian behaviors that prioritize conformity and deference to authority may be more prevalent in collectivist and multicultural environments, such as those found in Trinidad and Tobago. Parenting customs in Trinidad and Tobago are a distinctive fusion of African, Indian, European, Indigenous, Chinese, and Arab influences. In addition to expecting obedience, particularly through formal supervision or physical discipline, many families instill a sense of togetherness and affection. In this presentation, we aim to focus on parenting practices in the USA and Trinidad and Tobago. We'll also look at the meanings of the 4 traditional styles, the ways in which each style manifests into the 2 civilizations, and contrast and examine the ways in which various approaches influence kids in different ways. We will also relate the findings to our own thoughts, emotions, and observations through our own reflections. The first of the 4 parenting styles is authoritative, which is very responsive and demanding. The parents here provide a sense of warmth, honest communication, and emotional support in addition to establishing clear, acceptable rules and expectations. They uphold discipline, promote independence, and provide an explanation of the why behind the set rules, which often results in the children exhibiting strong self-esteem, academic achievement, emotional control, and problem-solving abilities. It is widely regarded as the gold standard in many European nations as well as Western civilization such as the United States. Second is the authoritarian parenting, which is high demand with little response. Obedience is required here without a question, and the parents enforce rigid regulations with very little affection or justifications. It is usually because I said so, with little or no emotional dialogue behind it. And this often results in children who may be disciplined and obedient, but they also struggle with self-esteem, anxiety, and problem solving. It can also result in disobedience and animosity amongst children. The third parenting style is permissive, which is low demand with high responsiveness. These parents are affectionate and forgiving, but they rarely enforce rules or punishments and frequently avoid conflict at all costs. They may grant independence with very little direction and act more like friends than authoritative ones, which results in children feeling emotionally supported but will have issues with authority, self-control, and academic success in the future. They may also have trouble setting limits and may be impulsive. Lastly is neglectful parenting, which is low demand with a very low response rate. These parents provide for their children's fundamental requirements but show little to no interest in their lives emotionally. There is minimal supervision, no rules, and very little emotional engagement. This results in poor academic achievement, low self esteem, delinquent behavior, and an elevated likelihood of emotional issues and worse developmental consequences. This parenting style frequently results in social isolation and attachment issues in the future.
In many Caribbean households, the parenting approach is rooted in the old saying, spare the rod, spoil the child. This traditional mindset reflects a dominant authoritarian style, high control, low warmth, and the frequent use of corporal punishment. While often intended to teach obedience and respect, research suggests this approach can backfire. Diana Baumrind, who developed the framework for parenting styles, found that authoritarian parenting tends to produce children who are obedient, but they may struggle with low self-esteem, anxiety, and limited social skills. In the Caribbean, we often see this play out in youth who fear authority, suppress emotions, or rebel in adolescence. But on the other hand, the authoritative style, characterized by high warmth and firm but fair discipline, is gaining traction across the region. Parents will explain rules, encourage independence, and show emotional support. These styles align with Vygotski's theory of scaffolding, where children are guided with just enough support to grow confidently. Caribbean children raised this way tend to show better emotional regulation, academic success, and stronger communication skills. Permissive parenting is marked by high affection and low control, and it is less common in the Caribbean, but it is becoming more visible in urban or middle-income families. While Diana noted that children raised permissively may struggle with boundaries and self-discipline, in a Caribbean setting, community and extended family often help to fill in the gaps. When supported by positive social networks, some of these children thrive emotionally despite minimal parental discipline. This reflects the ecological systems theory, which emphasizes the broader social influences on a child's development. Thus, the most concerning, however, is the neglectful or uninvolved style. This approach, marked by low affection or warmth and low control, is often seen in homes where parents are emotionally distant or physically absent due to work, migration, or unresolved trauma. Children raised in these environments face the highest risks: emotional detachment, academic struggles, and behavioral issues. Erik Erikson pointed out that without secure attachment and guidance, children may fail to develop trust, autonomy, or a strong sense of self. In summation, each of these parenting styles leaves lasting psychological effects. The way we parent shapes not just our children's behavior, but also their confidence, coping strategies, and overall mental health.
Good day, everyone. I'm Lexus Mohammed, and today I'll be talking about parenting styles in the United States. And I'll be showing you how they look in American homes and why culture shaped them. In the US, values like individualism and self expression guide how parents raise their kids. Authoritative parenting is by far the most promoted style there. You'll see it in best-selling books, social media, and pediatric advice. Parents will set clear limits, explain their reason, and encourage the children to share their opinions. As a result, US children often grow up confident, responsible, and emotionally aware. Yet, authoritarian households still exist, especially among families with strict religious or traditional norms. Their obedience is non negotiable, and because I said so is the rule, these kids may follow directions, but they can struggle with anxiety and low self esteem. In more liberal or urban areas, you'll find permissive parenting. Kids choose their own bedtimes or meals, which can foster creativity, but without structure, they sometimes act impulsively or underperform academically. And sadly, neglectful parenting. This happens in households under severe stress or hardship. When basic needs are met but emotional support is missing, children often feel invisible, struggle in school, and seek belonging elsewhere. Compared to Trinidad and Tobago, where obedience and respect for elders are deeply rooted, in the US emphasizes on independence. Comparison and analysis of country A and B. Authoritative, balanced in the Caribbean, emerging, not yet dominant, linked to better adolescent mental health. In the US, it's mostly encouraged and widely practiced, builds confidence and emotional intelligence. Analysts shared idea style, US further ahead in adoption, authoritarian, strict in the Caribbean, historically dominant, emphasizes discipline and respect, often involves corporal punishment. In the US, less promoted and seen as harsh, linked to anxiety and rebellion. Analysis cultural roots in Caribbean versus emotional concerns in US. Permissive, also known as indulgent, in the Caribbean, less common, may lead to moderate positive effects. In the US, more common, viewed as too lenient, linked to impulsive, lack of discipline. Analysis US influenced by individualism, Caribbean prefers more structure. Neglectful in the Caribbean is seen in 25 to 30% of families, tied to negative development outcomes. In the US, often due to poverty, addiction, or mental health issues, results in emotionally and academic problems. Analysis socioeconomic stress is a major driver in both, not typically a deliberate style.
Good day, everyone. My name is Alia Abedin, and I'm here to talk about our group reflection and thoughts on parental styles issues in Trinidad and Tobago and the United States. Today, I'll be sharing some of our key reflections, what we've learned, the challenges we faced, and how we grew as a team through this experience. Collectively, studying parenting styles in Trinidad and Tobago and the United States has made us more aware of how much culture influences how families bring up their children. One of our main conclusions was that despite their widespread recognition, the four parenting style authoritative, authoritarian, permissive, and neglectful are not applied uniformly across all cultures. Every culture adds meaning, expectation, and explanation for why parents behave in certain ways. From a Trinidad and Tobago perspective, we discovered that cultural values based on obedience, discipline, and respect for elders has kept authoritarian parenting prevalent, particularly among older generations. However, there is a growing trend towards authoritative parenting, particularly as our communities become more aware of mental health issues and more research is conducted. For many of us, we have witnessed or experienced both styles in our own families or communities. However, authoritative parenting is generally regarded as the best approach in the United States. Some of us were taken aback by this, particularly after witnessing the degree to which parents and kids are encouraged to be independent and emotionally transparent. It caused us to consider how to strike a balance between independence and direction. as well as how American parenting frequently seek to encourage children's opinion and decisions from a young age. Most significantly, this project enhanced our abilities for critical thought, perspective comparison, and introspection about our own beliefs and upbringing. It promoted candid discussion amongst group members, enabling us to ask questions and share personal experiences. We now, as a team, have a better grasp of how parenting approach are not one size fits all, but rather intricate with dynamic strategies influenced by a variety of elements such as love, customs, and a desire to act in the best interest of children.
Summary of parenting style issues. Parenting styles shape how kids grow up, and each has its ups and downs. Authoritarian parents are strict and not very warm. This can lead to kids feeling anxious or rebellious, common in Caribbean households where discipline is heavily emphasized. Authoritative parents set rules but are loving and explain things. It's the most balanced style and leads to confident, well adjusted kids. This is the most encouraged approach in the US. Permissive parents are very loving but don't set many rules. Kids may grow up creative but lack discipline or structure. Neglective parents are uninvolved. This often leads to serious emotional and academic struggles for children. In short, parenting that's both firm and caring tends to work the best no matter the culture. Thank you.